Yeah, so thanks everybody for listening in and being present, and especially thanks to Kai and Christian and Rachel and everybody organizing this conference. It's been fantastic so far for us. Really happy to be back over here, really happy to be overseas. So I'm here from Defiance Silver. Defiance is a Mexico-focused polymetallic exploration company. We have silver, we have a dominant land position in one of Mexico's most well-known silver districts. We also have a large gold copper asset. Both are advanced assets. In Zacatecas, we have a small starter resource. And in Tepal, at our Michoacan asset, we have a large pre-feasibility PEA level 1.8 million ounce measured and indicated gold resource with 813 million pounds of copper. So Defiance has a robust resource base at Tepal. We have a building resource base at San Nicasio. We have significant exploration potential on both assets. We've been working very hard to consolidate land positions, royalty positions, our financial positions. And we're doing this with a team of people who've done this before. We have a proven team of mine finders. We have taken small resources, built them out to big resources, gone through M&A, taken projects from mineral exploration projects to mine development projects, and operated mines. So our in-country technical team has over 100 years of experience, cumulative experience working in Mexico. When combined with our directors and senior leadership, that's over 200 years of mining and capital markets experience. I'll run through what this means. Like, it's a bit of a cliche to say that, a precious metal company has leverage to precious metal prices, but we do have a strong sensitivity to the price of gold and copper at Tepal. Every $250 increase in the gold price adds $100 million to the post-tax NPV of that project. We are very aligned with our shareholders. We're philosophically aligned with our shareholders. Over 40% of our common shares are held by management key shareholders. We did 2 financings in the last 14 months. CEO Chris Wright, his funds, Windermere Capital, own over 20% of the company. So very philosophically aligned, and I think you see that with our capacity to do good work. And we're drill ready in Mexico. A lot of people are scared about permits in Mexico. We were able to get drill permits in 12 days in Zacatecas. We have a fully financed drill program, and we are systematically exploring our projects with a drill bit. Like I said, we have a strong treasury. We raised $11.5 million in June at 90 cents, and that was at 90 cents. And last September 2020, we raised $10.5 million. So we have $17.5 million in cash. As I said, about 220 million shares outstanding, and fully diluted 257. Got about $10 million of warrants that are in the money, so can't count on them, but they're there. And as I said, about 40% institutionally held. Trade on the TSX, OTC, and here in Frankfurt. This chart's interesting. We think it's an interesting time to look at Defiance. This chart is we've come off from our all-time high. We went to the equity markets at 90 cents, so it was almost near the company's all-time high. But we've had a really good run since we became involved and Chris became involved, and we really started to look at the district scale potential of our assets. Zacatecas is arguably the Zacatecas district, and this part of Mexico is arguably the most important silver mining jurisdiction in the world. It's an area that has, a 50 kilometer radius from our property has produced about 10 billion ounces of silver. Our district has produced over 1 billion ounces of silver, but we're in a trend of mineralization that hosts some of the largest operating tier 1 mines in Mexico. We're 35 kilometers away from Fresnillo. It's the largest primary silver mine in the world. And right next door to Fresnillo is MAG Silver's Juanicipio under construction project, and that is going to eclipse Fresnillo in the next 12 to 18 months as the largest primary silver mine in the world. We're right next door to the Cozamin mine. Recently got a $150 million streaming agreement from Wheaton Precious Metals. They're going to substantially increase their development size and production throughput at that operation. Other than the closology, what we like with this storyline is that all of these projects, Fresnillo was out of ore in the 1960s. MAG Silver was an exploration discovery, and it's going to be the world's largest primary silver mine. Cozamin, 3 kilometers away from our resource area, started with almost no resource base. They're now 1,000 meters of vertical profile of mineralization. They're producing copper at 90 cents a pound. And like I said, modern investments coming into a historic district. It's got an over 400-year mining history. That means there's tremendous infrastructure in place. There's power to our property. You drive to the property on a paved road. We have substantial underground infrastructure, and we're fully permitted to drill. As I said, we have a small starter resource, and I'll explain how we've expanded on that, but we like to think of this property as Fresnillo from the 1960s, this camp in this district as Fresnillo from the 1960s. In the 1960s, Fresnillo was out of ore. They were in fact at Veta Grande looking for mill feed. In 1975, they found the Santo Nino vein. It was 1,000 meters of 1.6 grams gold and about 1% combined, 1,000 meters, 1,000 grams silver, 3 meters of 1,000 grams silver, 1.6 grams gold, and about 1% combined lead zinc. That turned the lights back on at Fresnillo, kicked off a 50-year prolific development pipeline, and really was recently augmented by the discovery of Juanicipio that Mag Silver is now going to be putting in production, or is in production now. Those numbers are important because we're hitting very similar grades well below our resource estimate level. So there's a couple blue holes in the top of the section there. Veins outcrop at surface. That's where the bulk of the historic mining went. Those were drilled by Silver Standard in the 1990s. That's the basis for the resource estimate. And we've, in the last 12 months, almost doubled the vertical profile, if not more, of mineralization. We're about 200 meters below the resource estimate, and we're still hitting great grades in a very active system. That's a photo of the rock there. We're still very much in an epithermal environment. And that was 1.85 meters of 1,100 grams per ton silver, 2 grams gold, and a little bit of base metals as well. We are hitting wide widths. It's a wide system. 20 plus meter wide veins, and nested in those are very high grade cores. So we like the prospect of what this looks like as a mining camp. There is a lot of historic infrastructure. There's a lot of historic mine infrastructure in place. There is a lot of surface infrastructure. That's the highest grade hole we've drilled on the property. It's drilling underneath a power line right next to an open pit. And we're drilling in and around existing workings. We're drilling in and around deep below existing workings because that does give you an operational advantage, certainly in this part of Mexico. We've been spending a lot of time understanding the structural geology, why are these mineralized horizons lining up where they are, but also consolidating as much of the district to provide a blue sky potential, exploration potential outside of just the principal Veta Grande structure. So 2020, we acquired or entered into an option to acquire Pan American Silver's Zacatecas district land holdings. It was one of our top targets in the district. We were targeting it for a while because of a database that we bought from Mag Silver. We have an option to acquire 100% ownership, and it's the only property in our portfolio that we don't have the option to repurchase the NSR. We think that speaks to what Pan American believes in the strength of this property, and they've owned it since the 1980s. It was largely orphaned over the growth of their company with the acquisition of Tahoe Resources. It's about 25% of the historic district, tripled our land position. We're over 40 square kilometers of license area in the Zacatecas district. We now have exposure to the principal mining veins, the historic mining veins, and what we feel is an emerging district right in the middle where it says Lucita. In the north, a company called Zacatecas Silver, drilling the Panuco deposit. The Panuco deposit's well known, extends onto our property. Pan American drilled the extension onto our property. We recently saw some maps from them. They drilled on the property boundary, so we'll just sit on the shoulders and see what they come up with out of that campaign. But what we're really excited about and what we targeted based on what we knew in the district from that Mag Silver database acquisition was that center block called Palenque. Palenque is, we think it's an emerging vein system. It's never seen a drill hole. There's historic workings. It's about 1 kilometer away from the historic tailings facility of the Veta Grande vein mines, which is a historic 100 million ounce producer. It's 20 square kilometers. There's over 20 kilometers of vein strike length. It's never had a drill hole. Outcrops, as I said, there's historic workings on there, but there's a lot of grade around. All the warm or hot colors of this map are yellow, orange, red. That's over 70 grams per ton silver at surface, but we get up to 700 grams per ton silver at surface, and like I said, historical workings. So we know there's a vein system there. We're drilling there right now. We just drilled a couple holes. We just drilled a hole in Tahuates, and we'll keep moving the drill through there. We have permits for 60 plus drill sites. And we're just going to test everything we can on this structure. We see this as the true blue sky or district building potential of the company. And what is going to be augmented by a resource drilling program is true exploration in a very, very productive district. We know discovery-focused geoscience works. It's worked at Cozamin, our closest operating mine. It's worked at Fresnillo. It turned the lights back on from a exhausted mine to the world's largest primary silver producer. It worked right next door at Juanicipio. So the proof of concept's there. And we're fully financed to do it. $17.5 million cash in the treasury. Our exploration and resource build-out programs, as I said, two-pronged approach. Fully financed, we're burning anywhere from $4 to $7 million next year on drilling. The end is to add ounces to an advanced asset through regional drilling on the Lucita asset, as well as the ongoing resource build-out drilling at Santa Casio. 2018, we acquired through a merger acquisition the Tepal gold copper project. It's an advanced asset as well. We have 100% ownership. We entered into an option agreement to repurchase the NSR at the end of last year, late last year, early this year. We doubled our land position over there to cover some exploration targets. PFS in 2012 defined a 1.8 million ounce measured and indicated gold resource and 813 million pounds of copper. $27 million has been spent, 60,000 meters of drilling. It's about a 4.5-hour drive away from Guadalajara. Nearby port, Manzanillo is one of the largest concentrate shipping facilities in Mexico. Power to the town of Tepal, Zacatecas. What we've been looking at here is how do you augment the in-place economics that were done in 2017 in the updated PEA. So that PEA done in 2017, it is getting stale dated, we know that. $12.50 gold and $2.50 copper price. Post-tax NPV of $169 million, post-tax IRR of 24%, and a 2.3-year payback of an initial $214 million capex. We purchased this property for $4.2 million in stock, so truly an accretive transaction for the company in late 2018. As I said, it's a very sensitive project to the movement of the gold price. At $1,500 gold and $3 copper, the post-tax NPV doubles to $345 million. So where are we going to add value through the...
In 30 seconds, what can we expect in the next 6 months?
With the catalyst for the next 6 months, pretty well defined. Exploration drilling happening in Zacatecas. We'll determine what we're going to do with the resource build-out. And we'd like to demonstrate that this can be a 100,000 ounce a year producer, adding ounces to the back end through additional exploration at Tepal. More specifically in the south zone, highest value NSR rock per ton on the property. The deepest hole into the porphyry zone here is 188 meters of a gram gold and 0.38% copper. None of those are included in the mine plan. You can see at year 5, there's a base of your pit shell design. So that's where we're going to do the life of mine expansion targeting at Tepal.
Okay, thanks, Doug.
Thank you very much.
If anybody has any questions, Doug will be around, right?
Absolutely.
Chris. Thanks, Doug.